Winning Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 times in a row, that had never been done before. Then again, neither had a 12-inch touchscreen or 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Never been done before. It's just kind of our thing.
Welcome to Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. Ram Truck, it is the winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. Brendan Parker alongside Matt Stage, and good to have him back alongside the desk, and happy Easter to you.
Yeah, happy Easter.
Not so happy for the Calgary Flames, I suppose. 4-2, the Leafs end up winning it, but another one of those games where we start to look at the different ebbs and flows of the game. You know, through 40 minutes, obviously in a really good position, and unfortunately it's the Toronto Maple Leafs that kind of take over in the third period.
Yeah, you know, obviously the start wasn't the start the Flames wanted. The Leafs got an early goal there, but after that, you know, the Leafs struggled a bit in you know, the end of the first period and the second period. And you got to credit the Flames. They kind of, you know, pushed the pace. They got that first goal from Nordstrom and kind of boosted them and gave them some energy. And then they got the next goal from Mange, and they're sitting pretty going late into that second period. But that late goal at the end of the second kind of turned the tables the other way again. And the Flames just couldn't find their footing in the third period. And when you're playing a team like Toronto Maple Leafs, who just, you know, I'm sure they're saying they only played probably 25 minutes of the hockey they want to tonight, you know, they're going to win games that way because they have that much depth and they're that talented. Yeah,
absolutely. And well, let's take a look at the highlights from tonight as we go through it. And you talk about that start for the Calgary Flames, not exactly what you're looking for less than a minute in, 58 seconds. But, you know, the response, I suppose, is what you start to focus on in the way that they played right there after. Michael Backlund had a breakaway, I think, 30 seconds later. But this is the first one from Toronto, courtesy of Morgan Rielly.
Yeah, and you give Morgan Rielly this much time, he's going to, you know, he's looking past there, but then he was able to walk right in and, you know, he picked his spot. He's a world-class player, and it's a great shot. And it's a tough way to start a hockey game, for sure. But the Flames did bounce back and battled, and the Leafs were very sloppy, and you can credit the Flames for that. They were forcing the issue, and they got this nice face-off goal here. And you got to feel happy for a guy like Nordstrom, and of course our buddy Mark Giordano. Congratulations on his 500th point, which that's a big milestone for him with the career he's had.
Yeah, for sure. And we can talk a little bit more about Geo as this post-game show rolls around as well. But two milestones on that goal, Nordstrom and Geo, and then this is the one right at the end of the first period, 39 seconds left. A nice little skate-to-stick finish here from Andrew Mangiapane.
Yeah, great shot, and you know, big goal at the end of the first period to take the lead, and on his birthday.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's always the case. Guys, when they play their ex-teams or on their birthdays, I feel like more of an advantage to score. It seems that way anyways, but unfortunately it wasn't enough because we saw the Leafs come back here, you know, a little broken play there on the defensive side for the Flames, having, you know, basically 3 Leafs standing around the crease there to put this one home.
Yeah.
So that's a tough goal to give up late in the period after battling to take the lead. But you know, that's how you sat going into the third period, and that's when we saw the Leafs get a bounce here off Noah Hanifin's skate, which is unfortunate. But that's the way hockey goes. It feels like when things aren't going well, they just go against you. Right now, that's how the Flames are rolling in a negative way.
Yeah, you see the frustration there from Noah Hanifin, and understandably so. You know, obviously the goal goes in favor of the Leafs, and it is, well, John Tavares gets credit for it, so his 11th, and then this is the finish here at the end, and two guys who have combined for a number of goals this season for the Maple Leafs, Marner to Matthews, and then in the back of your net, and that's what you talk about. You don't need to give them much space in order for them to finish goals in the offensive zone.
Yeah, and these guys were quiet tonight, Marner. Yeah. We didn't see much of them, but they got this back-breaking goal here, and you know, it's so cliche-ish, and if you just look at the goals that the Maple Leafs scored, you know, 2, the first and the last goal specifically, you know, the Flames had the puck on their stick at their own blue line, and they just got to get it out. I know you guys are trying to make plays, but you know, if you turn the puck over in those areas, whether it's the far blue or your own blue, you're going to give up an odd man rush or a point-blank chance, and the Leafs made them pay on both those plays.
What do you think, you know, guys are feeling right now, as you kind of described, when you know, you work so hard to get where you are, and then it just feels like it snowballs so quickly the other way. You know, when the momentum just is so hard to get into your favor, you know, how hard is that mentally to wrestle with?
It's hard. I feel for these guys. It's you know, I think there was so much expectation going into the season, and you know, things have gone sideways. They have the coaching change, and it's just been an uphill battle. And I know it's hard to feel sorry for millionaires who play hockey but that's their livelihood, and you don't get to the NHL just because you're good. You got to have that want, you got to have that passion, and that pride, and you play every game. Worked your whole life to get to this level, and now you're here, and when things go sideways and you're playing these games and you're trying to grasp onto anything, it's tough, but you have to push through. It's a challenging time for the guys, and hopefully they can bounce back tomorrow night and get some good feelings in that dressing room.
Yeah, some positive momentum. Let's welcome in our first guest here. Joakim Nordstrom is standing by. And Joakim, obviously, we'll start with your first goal as a member of the Calgary Flames. Obviously, that had to feel good, but just maybe the timing of it, too, to kind of get your team right back into this one.
Yeah, at the time, of course, I felt good, but now after a game where we don't win, it's can't really think too much of it.
Maybe just a thought on what you saw here in the third period. Obviously, you're in a good spot. That one at the end of the second changes things a little bit. But what was the mindset going into the third?
Yeah, I mean we're coming into the third in a tie hockey game. We kind of miscalculate or misread on a forecheck and back check, and they come back and get chances off the rush where we got to do a better job.
It was nice to see you get your first because, watching you play, you do all the little things and a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed by maybe a lot of fans, but your teammates really see the little things you do, the block shots, the penalty kills. So how much weight is that off your shoulders just to get that goal? Because you had a ton of jump, you usually do. But after that goal, the next few shifts, you had so much jump. How was that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really expecting myself to score every game, but when he goes, I don't know what it's been, close to 30 games, you start thinking about it more and more, and, am I ever going to score again? So just try to work on, tipping pucks and just, working on details around the net, and, I'm lucky that it paid off tonight.
Just one last one, knowing that you guys have this matchup once again tomorrow night, I would imagine good to get right back at it, get another crack at these guys.
Yeah, for sure. That's the nice thing, I guess. You got to take out the positives and back-to-backs, and when you lose, we got to crack at it tomorrow night again. So we just got to recharge our batteries and then, get our revenge tomorrow.
Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
Joakim Nordstrom joining us. He gets his first as a member of the Calgary Flames, and he gets that first on Mark Giordano's 500th point. And I know we have Milan Lucic who's going to step in here shortly, so maybe we'll park that discussion just to give it a little bit more time and kind of look down memory lane a little bit about Mark Giordano as well. But, I know you can kind of see it on his face there too, but as you said, when you're get that weight lifted off, how much freer can you play now if you're Nordstrom and get that first one out of the way?
Yeah, it is a weight lifted off your shoulder, and he came to a new team. He does the little things. So I've experienced it myself, and you go through slumps in your career, and you just got to find ways to score sometimes, and you need a bounce here or there. But he knows his role in the team. And he's a guy that Darryl Sutter will like and has liked. It's unfortunately got injured there early when Darryl came in, but he does all the little things. He's a safe player. He brings that energy, and for him to score tonight, it was nice to see.
All right, Milan Lucic is standing by now here to join us on the Ram Truck postgame show. And Milan, maybe just describe kind of what happened here in the third period, what you saw from your perspective, going into that third.
Yeah, well, another situation where we go into a third period, with an even score and a little miscue there on the rush, and they get a bounce off Hanny's skating in, and it seems like I know it sounds like an excuse, but it seems like all those bounces are going against us, and we're not getting any of those going for us.
I was just going to ask you that when it has that feeling of fighting it, or us against the world almost at times. What is that like as a player when you seem like you're battling everything?
Well, you try not to get frustrated. You try to just try to battle through every situation, no matter what it is. And you look at the last two games, we had chances to extend our lead, and when you let Toronto and Edmonton with their skill guys hang around, and don't go up by 2 or 3. You know, all it takes is 1 or 2 opportunities for them, and it's in the back of your net. So it sucks. You look at that second period, outshoot him 13-6. Outplayed him, but you know, we lose the period 1-0, and you know, that's an area. If we have the killer instinct, we go into the third period with a 2 or 3 goal lead.
Luch, I know it's a tough environment right now with everything. You know, I feel for you guys, but maybe just a word on Geo. Hit a milestone tonight with his 500th point. You know, I know you see how hard he works. Just maybe a word on the captain.
Yeah, a huge accomplishment, especially for a D-man to hit that mark. You know, he's been a really good player for a long time, and you couldn't be happier for the guy to hit that 500-point mark. What is he, 8th in Flame scoring? So pretty awesome for him. Would have been nice to have gotten the win with that achievement here tonight.
Thanks for the time, Luch. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
Milan Lucic joining us here on the post-game show, and you know, obviously he's kind of looking at that second period. You talk about that zone time, and you described that too. You kind of feel like you have the Leafs in a position to maybe build on that, and that ends up being the difference. You leave that period tied 2-2.
Yeah, and they were controlling the play. The shots were in their favor, and just watching the game, the Leafs looked flat, and you can credit the Flames for that. You know, the Flames are doing a good job, just, you know, simplifying their game, controlling the play. But all it takes is, in the game of hockey, and the way that the Flame season's gone this year, is one breakdown or one mistake or bounce against you, and it's in the back of your net, and it turned the game back in the Leafs' favor. So. You know, it's a hard situation. We see how down both guys were in their interviews. They're tough interviews to do for players, but they're also tough interviews, you know, on our end. And you know, we just hope that they can, you know, sort this out and hopefully bounce back tomorrow, so we can have a little happier times here.
No question. Let's park that discussion for a minute and talk about Mark Giordano. Obviously, 500 points, as Luch just said. That's a pretty big accomplishment for a defenseman. Only the 3rd in franchise history to reach that mark, alongside guys like Al McInnes and Gary Sutter. So huge. Obviously, you've been around for a lot of those points. You know, what does 500 mean to a guy?
Oh, so much. I'm so proud of the guy. You know, our families have become really close friends and still are to this day. And just watching him go through everything. I played minor hockey with Geo in the Toronto area. We played against each other. We played on a summer team together when we were kids. And he went down to AA. A lot of people don't know that. He went down to AA in Pee Wee hockey, played 3 years of AA hockey, and grinded his way back to AAA and midget when most guys are going off to junior. And then he entered the OHL as a walk-on in his 19-year-old year. So he was so late to the party in every situation and never got drafted. We know that. And he made it to the NHL as a walk-on. Darryl Sutter signed him as a free agent. And there he was in the NHL. You know, I think he's worked for everything he's got. I'm so happy for him. Here's his first goal. I was actually on the ice trying to block the shot. So I tell him it went off my shin pad, but he says it didn't. But I probably should have blocked it, so he owes me that one. But he's come such a long way, and to be part of his journey, I'm just so proud of the guy because he is the definition of working for everything you get. And, you know, I think he's put everything into this organization, and he continues to. So it was nice to see him get that tonight, and hopefully there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I mean, I love that you were on the ice, different team. I mean, it's kind of a lot of synergy when you go back now and see how close your families have come, and it's kind of funny to kind of go through the tales all the way back.
Yeah, it is. And funny thing, he actually scored 2 goals that game. Yeah. We ended up winning in overtime, but Sundin scored his 500th
another
goal
big
that
one.
night. So it was a memorable game. And the funny thing is, he actually got scratched the next game. So he scored 2 that night. I remember they went to Montreal, and he got scratched because I think Rhett Warner was coming back from injury. So probably not the play. If a guy scores 2 goals, you usually ride him. But
let him go.
That's the old school way. And yeah, we've become such close friends, and it's crazy to see. You know, we both had hair back then. We both went to the bald look. Him a little bit before me, but
just let the record show.
I'm just kidding. But you know what? It's just great. And he's a guy that he's such a soldier. He'll do anything for the team. Yeah. You can ask any coach, any player that's played with him. he's going to do what's asked of him, and nothing more. He puts it. I've never seen a guy work harder on a daily basis. You know what you're going to get every night. Yeah, sometimes you have tough games. Everybody does, but he's just such a smart player. Works hard and leaves it all out there. And I don't think you could ask for a better leader on this team.
Yeah, that's well said. Let's hear from him now, the man of the hour, I suppose. I know it's going to be a different temperature, I suppose, but still a big milestone for Mark Giordano, who actually, by the way, we should mention, just because I think he said it on the telecast with you guys, it's also his son's birthday, Jack. So a little birthday wish for him too.
And yeah, he actually said on the interview he did that he told Jack he'd get that 500th point tonight. Yeah. So he did.
That's
Unfortunately,
awesome.
It wasn't in a win, so I don't think he'll be happy with the outcome. But still, it's something he'll look back on when he's done his career, that it was a special moment.
All right, let's hear from I think it's David Riddick alongside Mark Giordano.
Mark, to start on a bit of a positive note, we understand that it was your son's birthday today, and you'd made him a promise to go out and get a point. That's got to be a huge milestone for you, getting your 500th. Can you just tell me what it means to you right now?
Yeah, I mean, anytime. I thought it was something special for Jack today. He asked me actually going out of the house, so special. But yeah, we'll look back in the future on that one. I mean, right now, doesn't feel good after a loss, that's for sure, and the spot we're in. So, but yeah, we'll look back, I'm sure, down the road for sure.
You guys, it was a pretty tight game for 40 minutes, and it just seemed like a couple minutes there in the third it got away from you. What happened there in your mind?
You got to be able to make plays still when games are close in the third period, and they had a push there. We got to have our own push, and we got to be confident to make plays under pressure when games are tight. So, couple breakdowns. That's a good team over there. There's a reason why they are where they are, and you could tell they were coming out with the mentality to win the game in the third, and we gotta have that same mentality when games are tied or when you're down, whatever the case. You gotta have that confidence.
Is that part of the lesson that sort of Darryl's been trying to push, that you can play great, but a couple lapses against teams like Toronto, with the weapons they have, they're just going to punish you?
Oh yeah, I mean, the league's really tight, and like you said, it's little things now, especially at this time of year, especially going down the stretch. It's little things that are going to be the difference, and that's sort of been the difference here for the last little bit for us.
Okay, we'll go to Solemn next.
Hi, this will be for David, and bigger picture. The trade deadline is coming up. Have you allowed yourself to think that this might have been one of your last appearances with the team? Do you let yourself kind of get nostalgic or think about that, or are you just focused on the task at hand right now?
Don't try and make a story here. This is my team, and I want to stay with this team as long as I can. So I'm not even looking at trade deadline. So that's all.
Thank you.
Go to Donna Spencer.
Mark, Toronto's third goal was a bit of a lucky goal off Hannifin's skate, but I guess did that feel like a backbreaker at that time? Just bad luck.
Again, it's 3-2 in the third. I mean, I know we're down, but there's a lot of time left. You got to have that mentality that you're going to go out and have a good next shift. You don't necessarily have to score right away, but put some pucks in, gain some momentum, and make the right plays to get in their zone, and we didn't do a good enough job in the third.
We'll go to Eric Francis.
Mark, it's like a simple question. Did you guys feel like you were the better team tonight?
I don't know, Eric. Just looking back, I thought they had a good start. I thought we responded really well. I thought the second was good for us, just thinking about it. And I just thought, I mean, we'll go over it, but I just thought in the third, a couple pucks, mistakes end up in the back of our net, but we have to have I think a better push than coming out of the period. We have to be the ones who are on the offense and aggressive. I mean, we're in a spot where we need wins. We need wins in regulation if we can get them. So we got to have that mentality and that confidence to make plays in those situations.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Go to Wes Gilbertson.
David, I know you didn't get the result you wanted tonight, but how do you feel like, kind of big picture wise, you've settled into this role and maybe not playing as much as you have in the past couple seasons, but how do you feel like you've settled into kind of making the most of the opportunities you do get?
I don't know. I hope it's not bad, but I don't have enough wins. That's all what matters. So probably not good enough.
And if I could just ask one more for Mark. Mark, I know you said you don't want to look back on it too much, but can you give us just a sense what 500 points for, anybody means in the National Hockey League?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I've had a long career here, and there's a few bumps in the road here at the start of my career, obviously, in the minors and going overseas, but I felt once I established myself as a good defenseman who can defend in the NHL, then that allows you to play in the NHL, and then you can show what you have offensively. So I've been fortunate to play, with obviously a ton of good players, and I've been fortunate also to play a lot of my career. I've been on the power play, so that helps you get those numbers. And like I said, it's one of those things I'll look back at in the future for sure, with especially being. It's special because it'll give Jack something to remember for sure on his birthday.
Just real quick, how old is Jack today?
He's 8 today.
Awesome, thank you.
We call it the Ram 1500 Limited. But truth be told, there's nothing limited about it. Ram 1500, winner, J.D. Power Award for Best Driver Appeal.
Flames post-game live brought to you by Ram Truck, winner of Motor Trend Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Brendan Parker and Matt Stajan resetting things here on a 4-2 Calgary Flames loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's listen in a little bit to Darryl Sutter here.
Thank you, Sean. Darryl, obviously not a great start, but after that, you guys, bounced back, and it seemed like until the end of the second period, you guys were playing pretty well, and then the third, a couple mistakes you got punished for. Is that sort of how you saw it going tonight?
Yep, we made a rush read mistake in the third goal, and we turned the puck over, leaving our zone in the fourth goal, and their 2 big centermen scored goals and put the game away for them.
Is that the lesson, just limiting mistakes and
well, it's not really a lesson. I mean, it's what you have to do every night.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
What, Eric Francis?
Darryl, is this team just the way this team's built right now and what you've got to work with? Is it just not good enough to win in today's NHL?
Well, you got to play at I've said this lots, Eric. This team has to play in order to keep up. A team has to play at a pace that and you have to be able to execute at that pace, and you have to be able to check at that pace. And for some of our players, that's difficult.
Any further questions for Darryl? Okay, thanks very much. The Flames.
Short in the postgame from the head coach, Darryl Sutter, and obviously, talking about pace, that's one thing he's been stressing here from day number 1. So more on that as, of course, they meet these guys once again tomorrow night. We'll see if they can build on that. Let's reset things here a little bit. Let's actually, if we can do score 4 first, guys. Are we ready with that? And then we could get to Ask Stage. Okay, let's just round out the score 4, bet99.net. Matt and I both got our picks in this afternoon, and the results are in. We have a fresh winner for the score 4, bet99.net. Robin Dirks is the winner. I believe they go for 3 for 3. One of the questions was eliminated just because of the situation, and so 3 for 3, 1 point over or under. So Michael Stone goes under 17. So where are we at here? I think you. Yeah. Okay. So we got 1. We both went 1 for 3. I think is what I'm seeing here.
Not a good night.
No, it's not a good night. 1 for 3. Decent if you're a member of the Toronto Blue Jays, who I think won today. Not so good if we're betting on bet99.net. All right, Ask Stage. Let's roll this and hit it, boys. Ask Stage. Still waiting for a sponsor again. This is a perfect opportunity to step in, join the team here. And here's our first question. We got a couple here from Shaner403. What superstitions did you have as a player? Memorable superstition a teammate had? Anything stand out?
Oh, there's hockey players are some of the most superstitious guys. Like you could ask the trainers and they would be like, some of the things they see are probably nuts. But yeah, I was superstitious for sure. Whether it was where you place your stick or I was actually the guy in Toronto and then here when I came here, I would pass the pucks in warm up. So when we do the half moon and warm up, if you ever come to a game early when we can have fans, and the order I would pass to the guys, it was always Iggy first, and then when he left, it was always Geo first. But the order after them, I would switch based on if we won or lost last game. So I would know the order. That's how into it I was, and you would know the order. And the guys know the order too, right? So you could watch a guy. They have so many little things they do. Like I would sit back in my dressing room in some games and look around and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's changing his tape. Or on the way to the game on the bus, the guy would be sitting in a different seat. Or there's just a lot of things. And the biggest one as a team that I remember, because I think the Flames played different music in warm up today too. I don't know if you noticed. They changed their warm up playlist.
Big time.
So one thing, when we came out with those Calgary third jerseys with the Calgary front, that first year we wore them, we won. I don't think we won in them. So we're on a losing streak, and we had to petition to the league to change the jerseys because it's like a big process to switch your jerseys if you want to switch. You can't just be like, oh, we're going to wear a regular home or our retros. So Berkey had to petition to the league, and we got our jerseys switched for a home game, and we ended the streak. I think we beat St. Louis or something at home. I remember it, like. Bob came in and be like, we're wearing our other jerseys tonight. It was like a big deal, right? And so it's a superstitious environment for sure, to say the least. And if you see someone doing something, you should hesitate to call someone out on it because you don't want to ruin what's going for them. And even look for Geo. He's using white tape right now. He's usually a black tape guy.
He's had that going for a while this year, though, right?
Yeah. Christopher Stieg always points out the guys changing their tape color.
Tape gate?
So just little things like that happen all the time.
Derek Ryan's notorious for, I shouldn't say notorious, but he'll do it quite a few times throughout the course of the year too. I've noticed he'll go from black for a game or two and then white. But he's a face-off guy, so I think black is usually. It seems like it's a good face-off thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I used black. Maybe one practice. I was pretty consistent on my tape. But they say black tape disguises the puck from in. So if you ask a goalie, the black tape from in close disguises the puck, but from out far. The white tape kind of you don't see the stick, right? So it's everybody has their own spin on everything. But there's a ton of I could go on. Michael Frolik was nuts. Right? Oh, he was nuts with his superstitions. But Jaromir Jagr for the few games we had him here, he was quite superstitious. So I could go on. You could tell me a guy, and I would be like, yeah, he does this, this, and this. Or I was pretty aware of what guys did.
I want to dig up the warm-ups and see, because I always how do you keep track of it? I always watch guys, the Flames warm up, and it's almost down to the seconds in terms of who's doing what and when and who gets the pucks out of the pass. How did you keep track of in your head that whole time?
It just becomes a part of your routine, and maybe at the end, because obviously there's lineup changes or young guys, so there'd be a little. But the first 10 guys, it was like 2-2. It was like Geo, Bax. Bro, it was just kind of whoever was there. That's when I don't know who's doing it now. I think Bax is passing. He probably doesn't have a routine.
He's just throwing them.
He's not smart enough.
All right, we got one more question there. Let's see what else we got here for Ask Stage. We'll round it out for tonight. At Michael Umet 3. Did you ever just think? Oh yeah, this was one about knowing some of those guys in the locker room still. Do you ever wish you could just get back in the game and come out of retirement? That was, the connection to the locker room still.
Yeah, for sure. Every day you want to come out of retirement and play. I think every player would say that. But, yeah, I feel for the guys right now. It's a tough environment when you're not winning hockey games.
Yeah.
When you lose one game, you feel it in the locker room. When you're in a real tailspin like they've been the last little bit, it's a tough environment. And, I don't know the dynamics of their room this year because I'm not in it. But for sure, you always remember back to the tough times and how you could maybe help or be a guy that can try and turn the tide. But that's part of the challenge as a team. They gotta figure that out and work towards that as a group. And hopefully tomorrow night a nice win, because they do have that week, what might be a week off before their next game. So hopefully they can kind of get some positive vibes in the room after tomorrow night's game with a nice win. And maybe get a little bit of a breather, a little rest too in between here. We'll see what the schedule looks like. Obviously that's not official yet, but we'll wait to see what the situation is with the Vancouver Canucks, who are scheduled to be here Thursday. All right, thanks for doing it. Matt Stajan alongside and wrapping up the Ram Truck postgame show here with a 4-2 Calgary Flames loss at the hands of the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs. A couple of goals in the third period. The difference in this hockey game, 2-2 after 40, but Tavares and Matthews sealed the deal for the Leafs, but these two teams will square up one more time. 7:30 tomorrow, same two teams. Blasty's back for the Calgary Flames as they round out the second to last game of this season series between the two teams. That does it for the post-game show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.